We're going to go over a quick concept, and then we're going to jump into some game film review. Uh, our concept for tonight is communication. Um, this is something that you're going to see higher level clans do a little bit more effortlessly, and lower level clans not do very well, and the difference is very noticeable. I would kind of hazard a guess to say that communications and actively working your way through problems as a team, um, that's the primary just like difference between somebody that's playing in high storm or typhoon or something pretty competitively, and somebody that's a team that's struggling. It's also the difference between maybe the same people but wildly different performance. A lot of times if you're really hot one night and then you get the same group of guys together, you're like, oh, let's go out there and trash some folks, and you can't win a match to save your life. Well, it probably has to do with communications. And so it's really important that we get everybody a solid understanding of what that means and kind of how to um, take your communications game to the next level. Because there's no right and no wrong way to do communications so long as you're um, hitting some high notes. The basic theory that you're trying to execute on is that if you go out as 6 or 7 individual ships and play an individual ship clan battle, it's like a random, and you're going to get stomped pretty reliably. And if you try to enhance your teamwork and work with the people around you and keep an eye out for threats and opportunities that other people around you can exploit, you're going to operate at a much higher level than a bunch of individual ships would. So that's the theory. Actually, executing on this is kind of where things get tough. So I'm going to go over a couple of quick notes on that, and then we're going to look at some game film, and we're going to look at how people should be communicating in those situations. What's important that's on their screen, because that should probably put some of this stuff into practice. And then this weekend, as you guys drop into battles, you can see if you can implement that inside of your groups. You should see a pretty good efficiency increase if you're doing this right. So the first step in communications is being able to call important information in a short amount of time. Basically, the opposite of what I'm doing tonight in class. You actually have to get meaningful, important information and do it quick, because you don't want to clutter the comms because there's going to be other people doing the same thing. So there's usually a couple of things that everybody needs to know. Number one, who's talking? If you are in battle number 13 with the same group of guys, everybody knows each other's voice by then. Using your call sign with something you're saying over comms may not be necessary. But if you're in that same group of guys and you just switched from a cruiser to a destroyer, what you're saying means something different, and maybe the person that you're saying it to doesn't quite catch on to that difference because you're in a different spot. You're doing something different. So usually you want to identify yourself before you say whatever it is you're going to say. That could be your ship name, Montana spotting torps, or enemy Napoli's pulling forward. Um, in the first case, Montana spotted torps. That's something that you you need to identify yourself, because if you just say I see some torps, well, people are like, well, where? What is this important to me? And they start dropping what they're doing and checking around the map to see if there's torps coming at them. But if you say Montana spotting torps, then only the people around the Montana really have to worry about that. Now, in the second case, enemy Napoli's pulling forward. I don't really care who's saying that. Most of the time, I would couple that information with whatever you think is important about that enemy movement. For example, enemy Napoli's pulling forward, destroyer, watch your ass, he's coming for you. Okay. Now there's action in there, and so you're calling something important out to your team and expecting them to analyze that danger for themselves. And you can hopefully get that DD's attention with that statement and have him react accordingly, because he may not have seen that Napoli pulling forward. So learning when to call and learning what to use when you call is important, but it starts usually with some sort of identification tag on most calls. And then you're also going to want to focus on hitting a couple of important calls to make. Enemy ship movements when they're making a decisive move, like the Napoli leaving his island to go out open water and try to hunt something down. Well, now he's exposed. And if your team focuses the Napoli, if there's a bunch of ships around that can shoot him, yeah, you can get a free kill. It might take a little bit of time, but that's
Yeah,
probably your priority target.
yeah. About that in last night, that this very same scenario you're talking about, that I saw Napoli hugging on with Ohio. It's like I kept watching him and watching him. I called it out because I was making sure that the teammates that are around me make sure that we focus on him right here in particular. And when he came out from behind the island, I called it out again. Eventually, he got obliterated as soon as he came out.
All
So
right, so we got to keep moving here. The call outs you're making when an enemy makes a decisive movement are pretty good. Sometimes you're calling out an enemy that is, presenting an opportunity for your team. Like radio location shifted to mid. I think the DD's left this flank. Aha. Now your destroyer might actually be able to get in the cap and contest it, or push the white outside flank and get torps on the battle shaper. The gameplay can change based on when you're seeing something important that's happening. I'm not going to go over all of the situations where you're going to want to call something out on the field, but in general, you're going to call out a threat or an opportunity. The opportunity could be, enemy Kerr just uses damage control. All right, wait 10 seconds, then start lighting him on fire again, and that's permanent for a minute. Good information. Enemy Kerr struck by 2 torpedoes, and I got a flood. Flood's still ticking. Aha, okay, that means that he's going to be slow. He can't move at full speed because he's on flood. All that's good. Or I hit 2 torpedoes in an enemy destroyer unspotted. Well, that's awesome. That means that if that DD survived, which you can tell from the combat ticker, he's going to be basically dead. And so your team can probably be a little more aggressive there. Push, get that kill, get the cap, get the territory, whatever it is your goal is, you can get that. So calling out those opportunities or calling out the threats, that's usually what you want to do. And if you want a full list of kind of what we recommend you call out, we actually have a document put together with that. It's under useful links, I want to say. Actually, no, I think it's under guides, advice, and recordings. Yeah, essential comms tips. Under guides, advice, and recordings, we've got it up there, just about a page up. And that stuff can be super useful. But the goal is for you to use that to coordinate with your team, and so that you can increase the efficiency of that team because you're acting as a unit rather than 6 or 7 separate units. Now, a piece of important information to know as you're doing that is that you need to be able to execute those, or to have good comms by bringing up important threats and opportunities, but you have to keep that brief and avoid comms chatter. Now, it's awfully fun to drop into battles and you've had a beer or two and you're having fun with the boys and sometimes girls, and you're relaxed and happy and people are telling jokes, and that's great. Right up until the fighting starts, that that needs to stop. So, you can have some background chatter at times and it's okay. But when people are making decisions and need comms clear, it needs to be clear. And even when you're in a fight, it might be that you think you're trying to relay important information, but if it's taking more than just like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, then that's too much. Unless you're the battle caller, get off the comm, and hopefully as a battle caller, you shouldn't be on the comm too long. You need to open that up for your team so that they can coordinate. Sometimes coordination is not desirable. Like if your battle caller is in a ship right next to you, if you try to coordinate on strategy, you might be trying to do something that the battle caller doesn't want, or it's going against how he thinks that you guys should be focusing on targets on that flank, or maybe he wants to pincer somebody around an island, and if you just kind of run off and do something else, then you can really throw a monkey wrench in the works of a strategy if you're not coordinating with your battle caller. But in a lot of cases, especially if your battle caller is on the other flank in a fight, it's really essential that you work up these type of plans and you work up those type of opportunities and threats, with your team that's around you, because you're probably not going to have a battle caller micromanaging you very much in that case. And so you need to keep those comms flowing, and so that everybody is on the same page and nobody starts getting isolated, maybe falling too far behind, moving too far forward, going center when they should be on a flank. All of that stuff is probably not something a battle caller is going to catch because he's not there on that flank. So it's important that you guys coordinate that with yourselves. And different people will do that, to the different limits of their ability. Some people, they will barely ever get on comms and coordinate with their fellows. It sucks. And then other people, they do it too much. So there's a happy medium where, you're working with the people around you, but you're not necessarily giving orders, and you can coordinate without necessarily coming up with a grand plan all of your own, so feel out your team and feel out how you should operate with the people around you by making a couple of suggestions and kind of seeing if anybody's like, no, shut up, I got it. Well, I mean, okay, then now and nobody's gonna, criticize you further. Don't force it, but try to coordinate as much as your situation allows and the people with you allow, because that really does help performance. Two other quick notes, and then we can switch over to watching some game film here. Firstly, when a battle caller gives you an order, it's like, we're going to do this. Most of the time, that order is got some flexibility to it. It's not an order to do exactly that, no matter what opportunities or threats come your way. If you, maybe are focusing on a target, if a destroyer at 500 health pops into view, well, kill that guy. I mean, single salvo, you can kill him. We'll get him off the field, But if battle caller is telling you to focus on something, and all of a sudden a battleship on your flank starts shooting at you, and you're going to get citadeled if you keep doing what the battle caller says you're doing, that's a much more nuanced scenario. Maybe you have to, maybe you don't. Most of the time, though, when a battle caller is planning out a battle and telling you how he wants it to play out, it's not an order to just go up and suicide somewhere. You're going to be expected to play your boat, even if it means diverting from the order a little bit in order to play it effectively. And that usually means keeping your health, not going away too fast. If you're going to go up and get citadel, if you try that, think twice. Maybe the battle caller knows something you don't, or maybe you need to say, hey, I can't do that right now. Give me a few seconds. I gotta wait for this ship to pass, or something. That's fine. But usually try to go right along with what the battle caller is trying to do, because that's the voice of experience talking 9 times out of 10. And then, as much as you can, when you're on comms and getting instructions from your battle caller, and when you're, maybe working out with a plan with the teammates around you, understand the why of where you're at and why you're there. Are we kiting? Are we being aggressive? What's in front of us? Are they pushing? Are they falling back? Can we control the territory? Are we running away? That's the why. And if you're out there and understand the why and are talking about that in those terms with the people around you, you're much less likely to have somebody sort of go off on their own and do something that doesn't help the team, because everybody's on the same page. Okay, guys, we're going to kite away. I'm going to go up here, and why don't you go out there, and then we'll trap things right here. We'll start getting citadels on them. DD, let's get some good spotting on that area. All right, now you got a plan, right? And everybody should be on that same page of, okay, we're kiting this flank. I'm going to go up here, but I'm not going to go super aggro. No, there's probably more chasing us than we can easily take. And that will keep you on the same page. Any questions or comments about comms?
No comments.
All right. Well, that's about all I have, and it was just over 15 minutes. I wasn't actually that far off, Schwal. You want to take it from here?
Yeah. How do you pause a fucking replay?
I think it's end or delete or page up or page down.
That's super slow. It's like pause.
Okay, that'll work. How do I go back though?
Go back is the arrow key. So where so look for the M key, Mike. It's the one to the right of it, and to right. It's the greater than less than. If you just you can go back. Let's see what the beginning key is. Let's see here. You can try also. I think the question mark key.
Small. Check
Whoa.
messages.
Whoa. Hang on.
Yeah, it'll do
I
that.
think I broke it.
Watch small stream, everybody. It's amusing.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Hang on. Cancel, terminate. There we go. We'll just start from scratch.
Oh, that's tanks.
Okay, a little background for this. Share screen, go live. There we go. Little background for this. This was a match against F11. They are an extremely good clan. The way we have things set up, for the most part last night, we were running 4 DDs or 5 DDs and a Napoli and 2 battleships. Mainly the Napoli because I was shitting the bed in the Kleber and was not being useful to the team. We were originally going to start off by doing a typical 9-10 type thing with C over here, which very common, most teams do that. But Hopicaz suggested right about now, let's do a AB push. And we just said, fuck it, let's do it, because we don't have the ships that we need for a correct 9-10 push. With what we had, it was going to be kind of a little jank. So we decided to try something that we don't typically do, and honestly, it can go very wrong very fast. So it's a little different. We had Jay, I believe, go into C to kind of get them thinking that we were still maintaining a lot of people over here. And we turned everybody's attention to B and A right away. Now, as you'll see when we're starting to set up, you'll start to notice where the DDs are starting to take place. They have to control a specific point on this map and an area so that me and Hop can do our job, and that is to get to A to as fast as possible because we are tanky and we have the ability to get there fast. Mainly the Burgone's fast, so it can get there quick, and the Napoli is basically a battleship in disguise armor-wise, so I can take a lot of punishment, and that's helpful up there. You'll notice right away that they throw Marceau in there, and we have Jay get in there just to kind of stop them. Jay is very crucial to this match. His ability to play a Kleber will be the difference maker of this going correct and not correct at the very end. So we'll just let things kind of play out. Ignore where Universal is. I have no idea what he was doing. Legitimately no clue. It's actually
We were doing
fast.
that a little bit when they played. I think it was a tier 6.
Oh, okay. Now I know what he's doing. He's trying not to get spotted. Never mind.
Yeah.
So you'll see that at this point, Kleb opens up, and every single one of us just shit the bed at hitting this dude. It's going to be beautiful how many shells this guy dodges. Not beautiful for us, but beautiful for him. He is just dodging everything.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
So at this point in time, we noticed, Moskva's in there too. So we had already made Jay get out of there, but now they're full committed, and they've kind of figured out what's going on here, but they haven't fully 100% been like, oh, we need to commit to see what they're doing, and this will hurt them in the end. As you notice, I'm giving a lot of broadside with Thunderer, and I think this is where they mainly messed up, is me and Hop didn't lose a lot of health going over here when we should have. That Thunder should have...
on the DD fight too much.
Yeah, they're really focused on these. But they're letting me and Hop get through. Now, we're going to have to slow this down just so then we can kind of, make sure we don't get there. Because I'm like, okay, this Thunder has got to shoot at us at some point in time. Like, dear God, me and him have full health. Like, what's going on? A Petro, Thunder, 18 kilometers. Like,
yeah, because watching the replay, I had me thinking, that thunder's going to try to snipe me from back there.
Now, he gets a hit there, and he took out my torpedo tubes on the right side. This becomes a factor later on.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Are
it
they dead?
actually does very quickly. Actually, in about 3 minutes, this becomes a problem.
Interesting.
So we're just full committed to this, and you notice where we have control. We're down point wise. That's okay. The Ohio, the Moskva, and the Marceau, they're not really useful at the moment. Like as long as our DDs can move and stay dark, we're good. The Des Moines, we didn't know where it was right away. You'll find out where he is then. Ignore me and Hop running into each other because we were trying to.
You've got a massive wolf pack between Alpha and Bravo, though. That
Massive.
controls a lot of territory. And as soon as the Bergeron and the Napoli start rounding that corner on Alpha, they're going to have immediate support with a great angle. So
And one thing I noticed is that Petro, he's in a very, very bad spot.
Very bad. And it becomes very evident he's going to move here. So at the moment, this is probably the most stressful part for me and Hop. We kind of need to go spot it or dark here so we don't get cross-shotted by the other guys. As you can see, I don't know if I pan my camera over there, but Forest Puppy laid a wonderful smoke for us, and that allowed us to get here relatively safely. And you see that they're full over there. Most of their firepower is still in that C cap. Why they decided to linger around there, I do not know, but it costs them because they
Petro
do
had
not
plenty
move.
of time to turn away here, but turning in is just the wrong move. He knows that there's a Bergeron pushing him. In fact,
So-
this Colbert knew that too.
Kleb knew it, but he wanted to get torps. And you know what? I'll give the Kleb this. I probably would have done the same thing. I would have actually came at us. I shit the bed and missed my shots. Sap
Yeah,
secondaries, though, wonderful. Okay, easy kill.
We've blown up an allied destroyer.
Now we kind of have a problem because me and him are going to have to get broadside to get this cap. Our DDs aren't going to be able to come up right away. They have to do what they're doing. So you're going to see I'm constantly watching on the other side. I'm not really shooting my guns a lot here. I do as much as I can, but this is a point where I tell Hop, hey, I don't have right side torps. This is going to be a problem. And that's why I said it becomes a problem very quickly. So I popped this because, quite frankly, I didn't think it was going to be useful at the beginning, but I thought after this fight, because there's no way I was going to lose this, I'll be able to get dark from this thunder, and that should eliminate me not having to deal with the possibility of getting doinked. So preemptive thinking on my part. I would have taken a lot less health here if I had torps on my right side.
Yeah, I didn't.
But I
see
didn't.
it knocked out because I thought it was just damage if you're get repaired. That's what. At least that's what I thought from my point of view.
So you see, I still got 10 seconds on this smoke. Okay, that's going to give me a 9-second ability to go get this. So I'm going to angle to this thunder. He is my most pressing threat, and we'll just let the secondaries go onto Marceau. It was at this point somebody told Forest Puppy to go attack that thunderer. We don't know who told or who said it, but she listened, and it was a bad call on the caller's part and not on her. So, but
staying out
it
and just
happens.
concentrating your guns on that DD that's spotted is probably the key. Because you could have sat behind the island, Thunderer couldn't have shot you and just killed him or so. Once
So-
that Marcel goes down, that's their only other DD.
This is the point where things are getting dicey for me and Hop. Hop's dead, so dicey no more. I'm losing a shit ton of health. Froggy needs to take over here, and I have to get out of here because I'm not going to be able to sustain the entire enemy team firing at me. And now we have a problem because, oh boy, here comes the thunder, and luckily he decided to turn. I will get away here, though. But now we have B and A. Okay, we got the caps. We've eliminated the threat up here for the most part. We just need to eliminate the threat down south. That's where J and Universal are going to come in. That Ohio made a very drastic error.
Torpedoes astern.
I don't know why he decided to push down this far, but Jay is going to capitalize that on the way that Jay capitalizes on things in his Colbert often. The Des
Yeah,
Moines and the Moskva.
Ohio ambush island right there. If he charges that island, there's a clip air behind it. Hey, dead Ohio, you know? Nothing you can do.
So Forrest got too close to the Thunder. She got doinked. Honestly, she listened to what the person said, and she probably should have completely ignored him. But whatever. Thunder is basically out of this fight. Sorta. The only person it can threaten is me. And at this point, I become super crucial to this because there is basically a full health Des Moines and Moskva, and we don't exactly have a lot of big guns in the fight. And as you can see, Ohio takes down Kleb. Guess what? There's his Torps hitting. Kleb takes down Ohio. That's a monstrous trade because Jay really didn't have any health at this point, so he made what was most out of his health. Load AP, and I let loose here because even with 14K, we need to get these ships down. I'm essentially the only big gun up here, so I can't not do it. So 3 Citadels.
That was massive. You needed all 3 of those too.
Yep. I think I get one more here.
It's turning out, but he stopped the turn.
Then the Des Moines pops up. Oh shit. He is almost dead here, and now I get 2 fires. Unlucky. Burn damn con. Shit. Now I've got to pop smoke. Now this has become where you notice the higher level teams. I'm no longer spotted, but look how long this Des Moines continued to fire at me, even after I pop smoke. He's going to take my health down to 109. If I did not have that heal going, I would have died. I'm going to, I believe, shoot again. Yep. And at this point, Hop's like, hey, just go hide in B. We've got this. We shouldn't have any real problems here. And we'll let Universal clean up stuff. Mongoloid's going to keep spotting. Froggy is going to keep Thunder spotted. At this point, we're like, hey, Mung, go cap C. There should be really nothing over there.
Yeah, if you just go C, you win the Sun Bravo Charlie.
We actually were okay at this point when knowing we were going to win on points even with 1 cap, if I remember correctly. But the extra cap was good. It was at this point I told Mung, hey, Moss was coming to C more than likely. You should probably, he takes a different route from what he was going to, and you'll notice that he takes a longer route. It takes longer to get there, but he's safer. And now we're just kind of playing the waiting game. The Thunder getting in A, that's what we thought. Nope, it's the Des Moines, and he's unspotted. So Froggy can't reset the Des Moines. We're going to lose A here. We have the point lead, but if we can get 1 kill, this becomes an even easier match on us. And you'll notice that we just get very, very patient. We don't start freaking out here. We have this one, but we really don't have it won. Like, things can go horrendously wrong really quick. None of us have a lot of health. I'm 2 shots from mostly anything, and Mung doesn't have a lot of health, and I think Universal was the only thing that was really playing with a lot.
Yeah, and there's really no threat out there for the Montana.
Nope.
It would take a lot for him to get killed by those 3, especially with Moskva so low. So this looks pretty good. Just depends on exactly how they act.
So you'll notice we just tell Froggy, hey, keep the Thunder spotted so we can make sure it doesn't come out of nowhere. There's no threat to her. She can spot him and not be seen. Universal's going to get into a gun battle with the Des Moines. Not much he can do. You'll notice Mung wanted to go into that little slot there at first, and then he decided against it. And he went, nope, I'm going to go around so then I can get behind that island at C where he can hide if anything does happen. So it was smart by him and not rushing it.
And points are continuing to swing in your favor here. You got a 180 hit point or point lead, and so they have to make a play, and they don't have ships in the right positions to make much of a play.
Moskva went too high here. I don't know why he went that far up, but he did, and it's going to cost him.
He was
because
scared.
that gives time for Mongoloid to actually be able to get in the cap and take it before he even gets there.
Yeah.
Now, I fuck up here, and I thought it was going to cost us, but I was willing to risk it just because of how flat this dude was, but I didn't aim low enough, and I had HE loaded. I didn't know that I swapped back to HE before that last fight, so what possibly could have been a Citadel to end him ends up being 4 pens and a fire. So I risk getting spotted and him possibly nuking me, and that type of thing. I didn't know if the thunder could hit me from where the island was. I was pretty sure he couldn't, but
Yeah, 11k health and you got a smoke up here now. I don't think you're in danger of getting burned out.
no, we're fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
So Des Moines just like, all right, fuck it, let's end this, and
And
simple
that's it.
match.
Yeah.
It was a good match in my opinion versus a very good clan. F11's pretty good, in my opinion. It's a very unique push. Like, you don't see that often, and especially with 4 DDs, we made that work really well.
Yeah, you had to dominate the center and just keep them off. If something was just further in, you have to spam that down and just kill anything close to that enemy easy cap, or push them away, which you did with the Petro, you did with the Thunderer. They were both basically running away before your Napoli and Burgone even came up. Burgone, though, he popped into that cap and just died. I don't know what exactly that was. Oh, he took a bunch of Kleb Torps. That didn't help. But beyond
He
that,
needed to be there. If I went in there alone, I would have
alone,
died.
yeah.
So
it was
kinda-
essential that you bring 2 ships up for that. Now, Burgone is the right one to do it. It's just those types of plays where you're being that aggressive and it's that predictable. The enemy's going to get in front of you and try to stop you, and you have to really know your shit to be able to take those engagements and win them. Against the Petro and against the Kleb, you got to pick those kills up, you got to take the cap, and then you got to retreat with whatever you can. Hopefully, you come out ahead. High risk, high reward. But when you're running DD heavy strats like that, that's kind of how you have to play.
And one thing I noticed is that the res, they were in the C cap for longer than they should have been.
yes, that was a very big help. Like, they helped us a lot without knowing. They should have got out of there way sooner, but I think they were worried about Jay possibly wrapping back around and getting it, which is a possibility. Like, he could have just went to the 910 line and they would have never seen him, and there would have been nothing they could do. So I think they just held that a little too long, and stuff
I
like
think
that helps.
they had a Mosfa and a Des Moines there, so I'm guessing that they were kind of using their radar to make sure things were clear before moving up, and it just took them too long to do it. They're probably worried about all those islands and which one might have a Kleber behind it, because Kleber are just pushing against Bow and stuff like that. They can take 2, maybe 3 ships down. Just full health torp 2 cruisers and then ram a battleship for half its health. It's just insane. You just kill half the enemy team. And we had 2 Klebers, so you can't go too aggressive there unless you really know where the enemy team is. And that
And,
makes
and plus,
it
I forget the Colbert that was at the C cap. He was long gone by the time they were ready to radar.
yeah, he didn't really want to sit there and expose himself, but he did sort of track the radio location down.
So I'm gonna throw up another one real quick,
Somebody
just
down
for it's the same map, and we play it just a little different. The team we're going up against is not nearly as good. they're they're a little eh.
What's the name of the clan?
They didn't really know what they were doing. It was FBR.
Yeah, I don't know these guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I believe we were in the Bravo division of the Gale for this, but we played a little differently. It's a C push, and we had been doing something for the last 2 nights that was kind of crucial. Forest Puppy and Jay, and those 2 were together. Typically, we'd throw another Kleber with them when I was playing Kleb, but we were keeping Mung and Hunter together. So we were kind of splitting up the DDs to where they had 1 Torp DD on each side to keep things away from pushing us, and 1 gunboat, and the gearing can kind of do both. So it's that type
Gearing
of thing.
smoke is really good too, so it gives the opportunity for Vampire or Club to just sit there and spam for a while. While Torps are on cooldown, you can get a lot of damage. Gearing can be out there spotting, and you're still keeping the damage ticking. Whenever you're heavy DDs, you have to focus on keeping that damage coming, because if you just let somebody full health push you, you'll wind up that you're pushed out of your defensive positions, and you retreat or you die, and you get bottled up. You have to be able to keep the damage coming out. make the enemy turn or disengage, fake him out a little bit.
So you're going to see some stellar Kremlin play here by Rigel. Just want to point that out. This is actually me not
it's that game.
joking.
Yeah.
It's not me joking. Like, it was very crucial for him to be where he was. He took a little more damage than he probably should have had to, but it's crucial damage, and the Kremlin is very good at that.
That's why I like the Kremlin. You can get into ridiculous positions with it, and you have the tankiness to be able to survive that type of movement. Even if you're running broadside in front of something that would kill most battleships, the Kremlin will survive it. It's okay.
You'll
I guess
notice I
maybe
start
like a
in.
PK could do some, but it can't punish enemy ships nearly as hard. Go on.
I start in by going kind of closer to the island, and then I start just going out. Now, I go a little more broadside, but that's only because I was 90% sure that it was just a MOSFET out here. This is the difference between a higher level team and a lower level team. Lower level teams typically don't know to push this 9-10 line, and they'll only put one ship out there and be like, oh, okay, that's fine. And they pay for it.
A lone MOSFET out there isn't going to cause anybody any problems. If he had a DD spotting for him, maybe he could be shooting at this Napoli right now. That would be worth it. But by
Their
himself,
Ohio
he can't do much.
position, also horrendous. It's not useful because me and Hunter are going to get past this gap, no problem. Now, Mosfa, he makes a drastic error because he came out. I don't know if I get him here or not. I do. That's 20k off. Like, he could have just sit bow forward the entire time and not taken that, 20k. So now he's hurting because that's 20,000 damage, and here comes a Kremlin.
Third mistake, he's going bow south here. Right when he
That
sees
too.
this Napoli, and he knows there's a destroyer out there, that means there's two targets. Now he has Salem, but he doesn't need to hold this outside flank. And frankly, he can't. The only thing he can do is be a presence out here and prevent people from bum rushing that Salem.
Why he doesn't radar is beyond me.
What are you at?
I'm at
too far out of his
13-3, but he
range.
didn't radar here, if I remember correctly.
I think a little later on, that's probably the critical spot. But still, I mean, you can see how that Mosfa's health, the Napoli's full. This engagement will go to the Napoli. Is just nothing that anybody can do to prevent that, and Mosfa's just trapped there. If he backs up too much, there's a sniping battleship that'll just, peg him.
So here's where I think Rigel probably could have taken a little less damage. If I was him, I would have continued going forward. By the look of it, Rigel slowed down here. Kind of risky with where the Ohio is. And I believe he's going to eat a torp or two because of it.
No, I dodged the torps, I think, but the Salem, I was bow pinning. I can, full health kill that Salem through the bow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying
But he was
to get
going for that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is very crucial because the Kremlin is exactly where the Kremlin needs to be. He needs to be right there. Me and Hunter will get this outside, no problem. He just needs to survive. Mongoloid's happily going crazy, just shooting in there. And we have Universal and Jay and Forrest just basically holding down B. We have no reason to push that side because we are pushing this side. And this Mosfer lives a lot longer than he should have.
There's the crossfire coming in, but it misses.
Oh, maybe that's a different game.
Yeah, there was a Mosfer there that lived a long time, but that's because he was hugging that island real tight and didn't just back out into open water there. That can be annoying to dig out, but not that annoying. Not if you have a Napoli. Napoli just doesn't care. He just kills him.
This is kind of the most painful part here, when you got this entire island to go around, and we're kind of leaving Rigel out to dry here for a little bit. They could have very easily kind of just rushed him. I'm not sure why their
I don't
DD
think they could.
didn't.
The Ohio can move forward, but then he'd be broadside to me or the Montana. The Salem
DD could have shot right to that island in front of you and just torped the fuck out of you.
I had full coverage against torps from the island in front of me, so there's really no way that, unless he went south, in which case RDD, Mung, and the Ohio and me, we 3v1 him.
So at this point, we told Hunter to go wide. Hunter went wide. This is one of those things when you get moved up to a newer clan, you tend to become very literal when you listen to stuff.
Oh yeah, that means skirt radar range. That's all it means.
Man,
Yeah.
he just kept going, and it took a little bit for us to notice because I'm focusing on this Salem. I'm not paying attention what he's doing, and man, he really goes fucking wide.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty wide.
I mean, to be fair, he did listen.
He did listen.
I mean,
and
yeah, there's that.
he did listen. You notice there, I shot AP first to try and knock out one of these Salem's turrets because
probably a
I
good
was
idea.
not dealing with that shit if I could.
Do
Salem versus a
secondaries.
Napoli, he will out DPM me, but he's not going to win this.
No, and I think that Montana should have a good clap here coming up. Oh no, we got the Ohio instead.
So another thing is here is I decided I think I keep shooting a little bit, but I also stop because I know this radar's coming off, and I just wanted to light a quick fire, and I'm like, okay, well I'm gonna get undetected here, and now I'm just gonna let my secondaries just do secondary things. I don't know if I continue shooting. I may.
No, you stop. You're just waiting for the detection to go away after you shot before. It's been a bit. Now you should be
And
going
that's
away.
mostly based around the fact that he knows
He was gonna
that.
give me broadside.
Yeah,
And I
Schmoll knows that the Salem has a super
I'm
healer.
not sure why he's doing that because does he
has to.
the Napoli have
It's the
torpedoes?
Kremlin. The Kremlin's making him move out because I'm coming in behind him. As soon as that Ohio went down, it's like, let's go.
Knowing when to stop an engagement to your advantages, like the Napoli, I don't need my guns firing. Every time a Napoli's secondary hits, that's gonna be like 600-700 damage, and they fire pretty quick and at
Can you
short
go?
range.
Can you go back about 10-15 seconds?
I don't know which one that is. To
Left
hit.
bracket. Left.
Left bracket. Or no, is it left bracket?
Or it's not the bracket. It's the
It's
just
the left.
button to the right of M.
Less than or greater than. It's the one next to the M key.
That'd be less than.
Like go back a little bit more, and then yeah.
Oh, that restarts, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't restart. It goes
Oh.
back about 10 seconds. 10-15 seconds. It just takes a second to do that. Because I wanted to point something out that may have been missed in that. Give it a second.
Mung broke it.
Yeah, it's
No,
broken.
no,
Probably
it's
not.
not broken.
Okay.
It doesn't go. Okay, so can you pause it right there?
Hang on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it just takes a second to do that. So.
It's kind of strange how it works, you know.
Yeah, it's really,
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
it's almost
dumb.
like it's coded by a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I don't know how to pause it.
You can just slow it down to as much as possible. Okay, so slow it down. Just slow it down as much as possible.
It's freaking out.
Are you hitting the
Didn't
keys
like it.
multiple times? Is that
No.
what you're doing? Oh my god.
I don't remember how to slow it down.
Okay, that's okay. It's going to be the like the 6 keys up above the arrow keys. So like insert
it's
home,
end.
delete, and page up,
Yeah.
page down. One of those. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so if you notice here now, like you'll see shots coming in from the left side of the screen and the right side of the screen. That means that the DDs are now engaging because he's coming around the corner to help kill the Salem. So Hunter and I, we've been dark the entire time, and it's knowing when to help in a DD to kill a ship, just to
Yeah,
get
that's
it down,
important.
when to open up.
Because that Salem only can shoot at one target at a time.
Yes.
He's rushing this Napoli. He does not have torps. Napoli does. The only way he's going to kill this Napoli is with his guns. So he doesn't have any guns for anybody else.
You'll notice he turned his guns right back to that DD.
It's knowing when to risk your ship, even in a DD against a Salem, which is usually never what you want to do.
At
But
that range,
with-
you're relatively safe.
Still, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not wise, right?
No, it's not
on most
comfortable, that's for
situations.
sure.
in
We're
most,
9
but-
mins in. We don't have any caps, but we're handily winning this. This
Yeah, look
is
at the
also
hit
another
point
mistake. That shim should have been out of here forever
A
ago.
while ago. Yeah. That was the only thing I was worried about pushing up and trying to take the Salem. I was like, there's a Shimakaze right in front of me.
Now
I'm a
notice during this
quarter health
engagement.
Kremlin.
Notice during this engagement, I have a sonar, right? But I have amazing guns against that Shima. You know, if I were just a new player to the game and unsmart, I would just go straight at him. But I don't. I hide behind an island. I let everyone else take care of him because I don't need to put myself in Torpedo's paths when he can't see anybody.
This is true. Well, he can see the Kremlin barreling down on it.
But yeah, but
the
I'm just saying.
Kremlin is a sacrificial lamb in this case.
Yeah,
It's
but
fine.
I don't need to risk my ship more than I have to in that, and I
Exactly.
know my teammates will kill the ship, so it's just unnecessarily risking it.
Yeah. Gotta
So
preserve health.
you'll notice in that shot, I aimed high on a Petro for the Napoli. I'm not entirely sure if this goes the way I want it to, though.
He speed juked me too.
So
I didn't expect him
the
to do
reason
that.
why I did that, for those who are sort of newer and Petro sits real low to the water, and for some reason, if you aim at the water line, the shells tend to just bounce into the water instead of actually hitting it. So I have a lot better luck with these guns specifically.
Yeah, now get away with
Aiming
that.
just a little bit higher. Like you'll see here, I'm really, really, really low. I think he dies before they hit, but
He's got a full health.
no, that. Of course, it'll prove me wrong, and it'll Citadel. That's how that goes.
Yeah, that's naturally how that goes.
But at this point, it's an easy win. And we only have one cap, so like we just kind of at this point we were laughing because we were just having a good time. It was a fun match. It was a different type of match. Like
that Salem and Ohio positioning was really weird.
Yeah.
Kind of
Very
in the
weird.
cap on the outside, free Mosfa kill.
all they had to do was move that Salem and the Ohio out to the 9-10 line, and this match goes drastically different. And that's the difference between a team that is on the lower end and the higher end is they thought, okay, if we hold the cap, that's the most important part. But they forgot you can get around to get the cap. So the difference in those type of teams, like we really shouldn't have been facing a team like this. This was very unfair to them.
Yeah.
Boink.
Boink.
Never gets old.
So the type of comms that you're going to want to see for these maps, you've got Kremlin doing Kremlin things. He can coordinate on whether he can get the Shimikaze kill. So we have something that radars him, but there's no radar. Okay, so he can help kill the Ohio, but that's a really big obvious target, and he's probably going to just be assumed to do that. The real question is, can he help out on the Salem kill? And in that case, the answer was no. So it's important for you, as if you're a Kremlin in that situation, to know, all right, guys, Salem's all yours. I can't help you. And the reason is because I got an Ohio and Shima in front of me, and there's just nothing you can really do quickly against that. My health is too low. I got to back off. So knowing when to tell them that type of stuff is really important, whether or not you're a battle caller. And then for the gearing and the Napoli around the flank there, knowing whether or not you actually have that Mosfa kill. How quickly is this going to be? I'm going to rush up and torp him so we get this kill real quick, and then I will take the Salem. Okay, that's a battle plan. You can make that happen. Something maybe a little more safe is I'm going to move up, we're going to get the Mosfa kill, and then I'm going to just sit back and smoke and secondaries on the Salem. That's great. Possibly even keep gearing a little closer so that you get a secondary source of smoke. But Salem has radar, so, I think that the way you guys played it was better, to be honest. So, and then gearing go wide. Great. All of these things are the way that you take a group of independent people and make them a confident and well-coordinated team, because you're taking a look at the ships in front of you. You're figuring out how to kill them and how you can't kill them. In the case of the Kremlin, I can't kill that Salem. You guys are going to have to deal with it. Make those calls.
So
Whether
is
2 torpedoes or 1 torpedo, or I started a fire, a lot of times much less important. The battlefield coordination, that's what wins games.
So is there anyone here from one of the other clans that possibly has a replay they'd like to throw up?
I have a game that was from last night. We're playing against the ARP clan. I don't know the right term for it, but it was it was a slugging match the whole way.
Why don't you put the replay file up, go ahead and do a stream, and we'll take a look.
Okay, give me a second. I'm on the PC server right now, so just give me a hot second.
All right.
So, yeah, I can give you this. The way what really helped us out in the later game was the fact that they got the red team got overconfident and they pushed right into me, and that I had 2 critical kills late, and it really cost them dearly. That they that just the fact that we stayed alive, the fact that the survivors, including myself, survived long enough to win the game, because
So
we were facing 3 small ends.
are you in battle right now, or
Yeah, because I'm in the battle. I'm battle right now. Because
okay?
I'm
So
on the
we probably don't want to wait until you get out of battle and load up a replay file. Does anybody else have one to start us off? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm checking to make sure.
Yeah, y'all can start off when I'll get one, and I'll get the one I'm talking about up in a little
Sounds
bit.
great.
So yeah, sorry for I don't.
All right, looks like Nutty's got one going up here.
Nutty.
Making sure that's the right one. 1 second.
Yeah, that's the one thing I hate about replay files. The description doesn't really tell you much. It tells you the map name, and the map name is always like a weird format Russian version.
And one trick that you can do is use the matchmaker monitor and look back at your match history, and kind of put 2 and 2 together and see what see if the one you're looking for matches the file.
I don't even know how you save replays.
They save themselves. You gotta just go through the thing. I didn't know it either. It's actually fairly simple.
Just FYI for everyone, in the useful links section, I posted the WoW's replay controls in the forums area, so you guys that'll be posted, so people can go there and see it. It's
I
memorialized.
love watching those things.
They're so good. Fantastic job there, Monk.
I posted a replay on the Discord from ranked earlier today, where I managed to carry my team to a win that we shouldn't have won, and I used like really good positioning, for good timing, and that had cap control late. So because I think I had like 80 something K damage, and
Honestly, a lot of times, the more patient team gets the win. The team that's focusing on good hit point trades rather than cap control, they'll get the win. Now you can't give up cap control entirely. You have to at least keep 1 cap on neutral minimum. Hopefully you get your easy cap and then keep the other one neutral, so points don't stack up much at all. But if you are getting good hit point trades, it's just a lot less important.
I'm not very prepared. I didn't expect to be doing this.
Sorry.
that's okay.
If there's a replay that you want to show, maybe like drag it into your like home screen or something, just so you know like which one it is. Because I'm like trying to go through them and I can't find the right one.
We actually are working on some possible feature upgrades when it comes to replays and replay reviews. Give us a little time to get some plans together, but we've got some irons in the fire on that. So what's this game? You got Monty, St. Vincent, triple DD lineup. I like that. I like 3 DDs. It seems versatile. Petro Venezia, good lineup. And that's against Yami Krem, Napoli Masfas, Shimakaze Smelling. Yeah, okay, so 2 pretty good teams here. On north.
Okay.
A heavy west push, it looks like. You've got the Venezia and the St. Vincent. This is a pretty good kiting formation. Shimakaze, yeah, I like this.
I smoked because I've had like 3 or 4 people aiming at me, and I was in a bad spot, so.
All right, he's slower down here. Oh, will he dodge the torp?
He's got it. Venezia just do.
All right, skinny boat. There we go.
Skinny fast turning boat. So they got their Yamato off towards Alpha. That should be a dead Yami. I'm not sure about this daring move up the mid there. I usually like to push him out a little wider, but maybe that's just personal preference. Definitely Petro's got to go out wider here. Him sitting broadside to that Yami, that's scary. I usually put him further south and then hook north, just so that he doesn't have to sit broadside there, but I guess maybe he's still dark. I hope. Because otherwise he's dead. Really good trades on that Mossfa out wide. Coordinating on with that with the St. Vincent. The only thing that would be better is if the Venezia can start fires. You can't, but it is what it is. Careful there. You're exposing up a much larger angle after getting that salvo off than you really needed to. If that Mosfa had Ledge Mod and a little bit...
Yeah, now my best game. This isn't even the one I wanted to show, but it'll work.
Yeah, I see that detected. You had nothing in the middle.
Way too much lead.
If he's moving forward decent amount.
We noticed they had a DD going mid thanks to RPF. Gave warning about that, and now we're repositioning. Smoke up so I can get up there quicker.
Okay, sorry about that. My computer froze up for a while there. I gotta take a look at that. Collapsing you back to kill the small end is a good move. Assuming you actually get the kill.
How the hell did he get there?
We drove right through the middle because the separation between the east and west team.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I
But
understand
they had
that.
RPF
Just,
that let him know he's there.
yeah, no, I got you.
Gearing's really low on health, but so is small end. All he needs is a little bit of help. He got the heal off, but that Venezia salvo looks good. So that saved the day and the Gearing's life. Shima's getting spicy on alpha. That's a good move. You want to take advantage of those times where you can even up a cap, even if you're not going to stay in it, because the enemy can push you right out there. You know, St. Vincent's too low to prevent that from being counter pushed.
That Moskva up north is just farming our Montana out.
Yeah, that probably shouldn't have happened with the Montana. You should be far enough back where you can go dark if you need to down there. And if you stay bow in like that, then you can't break off and get heals going. Petro on Petro action that took him off the field. So there's really nothing threatening or easy cap. And assuming you can kind of make a stand here at Charlie a little bit, you'll be fine.
I smoked for Yemi cross shots, but I don't think that was necessary.
Yeah, hard to say. You know, your angles are getting rougher here. That's for sure. I usually like playing it out more towards 10 line, but you had to come back and get that DD kill. So it is what it is, right? Getting a little lucky on those angles there.
Yeah.
That Kremlin, he could have done the number on you.
I expected a
Okay.
lot worse.
Got a Shimakaze kill. That is massive. Because with that Shima kill, there's really nothing keeping their only remaining cap neutral. But these battleships are pushing, you know, and that's the downside. There's no really clear way to stop this enemy counter push, so you don't. You just flow around it and look for kills. Yeah, here's where you kind of wish you had smoke, you know?
Yeah.
So popping it too early in a Venezia can get you killed. I think you're still probably okay. Well, I don't know. Again, that angle
No.
looks really poor. Yeah, he just can't shoot, so it's all right.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
I can't go undetected here, so I might as well try and kill him before he gets B.
Well, it's about timing the enemy's shots. So Yami shot a while ago, so you keep that broadside to Yamato, and then you bounce the Moskva behind you. You watch for the enemy to shoot again, and then you bounce those shells and expose broadside to the Moskva. You just can't do both at the same time. You're just buying time for stuff like that to happen. Moskva ate some torps. St. Vincent committing on the enemy Moskva, that's probably for the best. You can take that. Now here, the enemy Yamato is moving into cap and is almost dead. Wait, did he heal up?
I think so. 52.
A little bit. The biggest objective on the field right now is making sure that Yamato stays reset. Because you don't want to give up that Bravo cap.
He's dancing really well.
You're dancing. Timing's a little off, but you're still doing it, and that's going to throw their aim off a bit, and that's not a bad thing. Another solid slug. That's why Venezia will never die.
I got a 16k salvo on the Yami earlier.
Yeah, it's just so good. Maybe a little low. I don't know.
I think I was going for the nose there. I think he was a little saturated, maybe. Yeah,
Still good
6K.
damage. That Moskva is just charging down, and it looks like you lost your battleship to a ram. That's unfortunate, but you're pretty good on time. You have 949 points right now. So as long as you keep that Yamato reset and try not to die, you should be okay. And this is where Venezia thrives. Your angles are a lot better now. If that Moskva had gone southeast instead of straight south at you, then that would have been a much different kind of fight. I don't think you'd be surviving this here.
No.
Ooh, there we go.
All over match for you.
That was a lot of damage from the Yamato. Okay, yeah. So you couldn't kill the Yamato. That's fine. You kept the cap neutralized for really, really long time. And is it enough is the question.
Find out. No, it's not.
No, not quite enough.
958,999.
Mm-hmm. Your St. Vincent out there, I think, took an easily winnable engagement with the half-health Moskva and somehow turned it into a mutual, which isn't what you want out of your battleship. And then Montana went down pretty early and pretty easily. Lost the Shima to Moskva fire, I think. Gearing had a good game, though. Yeah, okay, that was pretty solid strategically. I think that you did leave two ships in 1v1s, though. The Petro and the St. Vincent. And that's something that I'd be hesitant to do. If you kept that... if you kept your easy cap safe for a little longer and just kind of skirmished north with, you could have defeated the small end without having to pull the Venezia all the way back over. And you could have kept the Venezia more towards the 10 line and just focus fire down that Moskva with the St. Vincent. That way, hopefully, he survives. Because your trades that you were getting were because you were putting ships in a 1v1 where they didn't have support. And same thing with the Petro. Two Petros bow in, they're not going to kill each other. They might ram each other, but that's about it. And that's not the best use of those ships. You put something out on their flank, torp the enemy Petro. That's how you win those.
Just a slight comment about this game. The clan that y'all faced against, I faced this very same clan in rank today. So I'm pretty familiar with the clan that y'all are up against.
Are you talking about Jedi or the previous clan?
Yeah, Jedi.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, because I think in my rank game I mentioned earlier, I think I played against them in one battle, and I basically just took over a flank with the help of a teammate.
Well, let's see what the team comp looks like here. Push tab and bring up the ship lists. Masters?
Yeah.
You want to pull up the team comp? Pull up the ship lists?
Oh, you're talking about you're looking at my screen, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because we were going to watch one from Nutty, and then we're going to switch over to you. So let's do that one next. Let's take a look at this team comp. What do you got?
So we got me and Juke for both Venezias. We got Vermont, Ohio, Gering, Marceau, Nishima. Then we had a Stalingrad, a Yami. Yeah, wait. So St. Vincent, Yami, 2 Moskvas, a Stalingrad, and 2 Smolens. This was a tough lineup we had.
Yeah, they're all
I
radar
was
all the time.
not happy at the end of this match.
Yeah.
Let me see, get this started.
They don't really have a whole lot open water that they can do with that, and you do with the Venezias. So, there should be a lot of opportunities for the Venezias just to go amok.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting over here because I'm just speeding it up. So just let's
get through the initial deployment.
But
I like that Vermont deployment off towards Charlie with the Shima gearing, but I wouldn't put him too close to Charlie just because he's slow boat. You can't get away if they have you push him.
I think what caught me off guard was that the St. Vincent got closer than I thought because just
look how far south your detection circle is. Right now, it was halfway through the Bravo cap. Getting detected there and taking that slug of damage was inevitable. You never really want to go that far south because you're going to get spotted, and see how it completely stopped your westward movement. You don't want either of those things. You want to keep going west, get out wide, and not have to go north by dodging, because now you're slow and you're not actually making that.
Yeah, I can tell that one of the small ones was with the St. Vincent up here because I was still lit up even though I was out of long out of detection range.
Yeah, I can also tell that you're not shooting the guns right now. You're not going dark. And
I was hoping to stay because I wanted to wait till use my smoke, then fire, because I wanted to make sure to see where that small one was first. But I think I just kind of ran out of patience. But this allowed me to at least get a good amount of chunk damage on that St. Vincent because I stopped him pretty dead in his tracks.
If you're playing 2 Venezias on a flank, probably the best thing that you could do is coordinate your smoke usage. And right now, with the other Venezia just a little ahead of you, I would have called for him to pop his smoke so that you can share smokes at that point, and you're both safe. Because with the way you popped it there, you're safe, but your buddy's not, and so the enemy's just going to focus on your buddy. You haven't really accomplished anything.
So now we saw this the small end. So now, at least I now know I can turn back in to see where to keep an eye on. My aim is never that great, so just bear with me.
No, that's fine.
But at least I can keep him in check.
Mm-hmm. That actually looks like a pretty good volley.
Well, changing your course after he's obviously turned away from you means you're avoiding any predetermined torpedo track he has towards you.
This is true.
Because one thing I was thinking, while I was watching the movement up here.
Don't widespread torpedoes ever.
Well, I wanted to catch them and see if they were going to push. But in looking to see what they were doing, looked like to me. The reason I'm going this way is because I was expecting them to go around this island.
Well, yeah, they got most of their fleet out there on the flank. I would have gone out to the 2 line, maybe the 1 line, and kept pushing south because you've got that, but you don't want to get so close in that you can get ambushed like by the Smolensk or the Stalingrad radar or something. Yeah, you got to get wide here.
Yeah, I was looking around, just keep an eye on them. Then the Stalingrad came out here, and then their second Stalingrad, their Smolensk was up here. I could sense
Mosk was actually your biggest danger right now. Well, not so much because he can't aim, but
luckily for him, he started a fire, but I was dark, so I slowed down because I wanted to wait and see what was up here. So
you can see everything that's up there right now. Yeah, you need to take the flank. Proceeding south against 5 opponents when you have 3 is probably a no-go. So just getting out wide to the west like you are, that's where you want to be.
Yeah, essentially that's what I was doing because after this, I was just basically running south and just baiting them to chase me.
Mhm.
Now they see me. Oh, he's broadside. Let's just fire at him. But no, they essentially took the bait.
Oh
Wait,
yeah,
the
they'll
other
come in and
Venezia
fight you.
wasn't shooting the same target.
Yeah, it looks like you got a little, and the other Venezias on the island. That's you want to avoid that because you're a 3v5, right? You're gonna have to kite this, and the other Venezia just can't kite it. I like the slow speed here though, going full speed then backward. It caused the small
I'm
red
still
to
trying to learn how
massively
to do
overshoot you.
that. I was still
Yeah.
trying to learn to do that.
That's
So
good.
I stopped because I wasn't sure if that small one was still there. So I picked back up and just ran south.
I wouldn't see that St. Vincent pushing up. That's the most dangerous target. Him and the Mossfa are coming in on Alpha Cap, and there's really nothing that can stop them. That's the thing that you have to prevent from happening now. So watch the minimap a bit more, and make sure that there we go. I think you might
Oopsie.
notice them.
I killed.
Yeah, this is where they started to screw. This is where they started to screw up. So I went back over here, like you were saying. So I was so that small one was out here.
So I wouldn't see how you're turning broadside to the battleship. You should be dead here. Well, pretty close. Yeah, you never really
I
want to
turned
turn
into
broadside
nuts.
to the battleship close range like this because he'll punish you, and you don't need to take that
And
damage.
this is where I really kind of saw like, okay, we got something here.
Well,
So
I can't help but notice that you also haven't shot at that St. Vincent yet.
Yeah, I
There's
want to
probably-
scream. Go shoot.
Yeah.
shoot.
Yeah, you gotta shoot. There's nothing preventing you from shooting right now.
This is why at the end of that match, I was complaining because I didn't think the Venezias did very much damage.
They didn't. Yeah.
Well,
That I had an awful lot of time that my ass was hanging out there spotting, and there wasn't much damage being applied.
And that volley against the St. Vincent should have been against the Smolin. See how the Smolin's in your cap, taking it and pushing your Marceau right now? It's all guns on Smolin. You got or somebody else got the kill, but
yeah,
that's the Venezia job.
yeah,
And-
well, partly because I can't see the mini map in the corner of my eye because it's just my vision is terrible.
Make it bigger. Use the numpad plus key because that's absolutely essential. Also, that. How much damage was it? I couldn't tell, but
I
1 over pin, 5 pin, 2 torpedo protection hits.
it's probably like 6K, maybe.
Something
think.
like that it looked like.
Yeah, that should have been 11. And that's because you're trying to rely on AP long range against broadside targets. Venezia AP is really bad. Really, really, really bad. You can use it like super close range against less armored targets, but long range, you're not going to get much damage. Stick with the SAP.
I can understand that. I think my thinking at the time was, okay, he's broadside, he has thinner armor. I can use AP there.
Even if you were like a Yamato, you're probably not going to get a lot in the way of citadels against St. Vincent. And stop widespreading your torps. It does nothing good.
But do you see what's happening on the mini map though? The Shimikazes curling around behind to put pressure on that battleship, and their whole fleet was being pushed north because we took C.
Mm-hmm.
And the Vermont's coming back. So even if they take A, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I like the Vermont coming back and the Shimmy going south. That was a solid move right there. I don't think that Venezia had to run this far north. He's 15 kilometers away from the enemy ships. Radar only goes out to 12, and their effective gun range is about that. So
well, the way we split it up is the Shima went south because we figured their destroyer would be heading north.
Yeah.
It would be better for that destroyer to run into the gearing rather than the Shima.
Absolutely.
And there it is. The small one just popped up again.
Yeah, you gotta... Okay. You are switching targets. That's good. You've had an unused heal. Okay. So that's small and still spotted. Everybody's shooting at him except the one that's supposed to kill him.
Yeah, he's well within your detection radius. It's not like he can go undetected.
This is where the Smolin should be taking massive hits from Venezia. But he didn't have his guns on. And he's waiting for some reason. You gotta take those shots.
It's just a habit of mine.
Yeah, that's massive.
Why we're in training, so we can train new habits.
one pen that should have been a lot more if you were kind of ghosting the
Yeah.
edge of the radar of the Russian cruisers down there. You've now pushed away about twice as far as I think you probably should have. Well, okay, a third again as far, because you're at 16 kilometers from the Stalingrad. You can
Is
put
that the
about
last smoke?
12. Yeah, that's his last smoke. And there's no
You
real
were
reason to use that
undetected when
smoke
you
there.
did the smoke.
Yeah. You can stay a lot closer and then save that smoke for when people start to shoot at you and your heals on cooldown. That's really what it's there for. You can't really use it to farm because it doesn't last long enough, you know?
Oh, this could be a nice kill.
Yeah, that's good.
Seal the deal.
And Shima's got an option on Bravo. You got a little hit point lead. This map looks like it's in pretty good shape. Now, I do notice that you haven't gotten the mods that show team hit points. And so, like,
Yeah,
I have no idea how healthy Vermont is right now. He could be about to die or full health. And that changes a lot about how you play and where you position. You've also kind of given off the west flank there. If you stayed out on the 2 line, there's really no threat for you out there except the Smolin. And Smolin's just not going to run up and counter Venezia. He can't do it.
Yeah.
And
So-
notice the Shimakaze is a down bottom capping,
Yep.
making their
Fantastic.
battleship run north, neutralizing that and gaining it.
I would have stayed out west here just because you can still effectively control that alpha cap. You just need to counter the small end a little bit and make it so that Mosfa can't push up on you.
Yeah,
You have to
no,
watch the
make-
Yamato shells, but if you're staying about 16, 18 kilometers away from the Yamato, you can dodge everything he puts out.
Yeah, my gearing died to that small one.
Yeah.
So there's no spotting in there.
Now you don't have an option on that cap, so kiting away does make sense now. But you only have to have that option because you lost your destroyer because you didn't have support. Venezia is best on a flank, right? So going back to mid-map here should probably raise some alarm bells saying, no, it doesn't look right. Also, if you're a little bit further west instead of north, you have a lot better options to smack everything down there. Mosfa, Yamato, and of course the small end.
Yeah, I agree. I can see what you're talking about because
Yeah,
I should have gone to, like you said, the 2 line.
Like
him
just
and then
chill there, like
smack.
the entire game. You just go from Charlie 2 to Hotel 2 and back. Just depending on the back and forth nature of the game. You just kind of live out there, and it's the same thing with the 9 and 10 line with the east side. If you have Venezia out there, you're out there. You sometimes on the east you have to make different moves because there's only one cap you can control. But on the west, there's 2 caps you can control from that outside line. So unless they're like hard pushing you with 3 ships and you can't deal with that, then you can.
I do
These
have
are
another
options out there.
replay that I played a lot better.
Well, this isn't really about personal play. This is a little more about team play. So I think that there's a couple of things that we can see there. Positioning, range, consumables use. And then target priority. There's a couple of things there that you could work on and pick up a bit. Knowing where your ship does best usually gives you the confidence that you need to play it where it should be played. And the for both Venezias to go out to the west there, it was great. But as soon as you guys got out there, you started making independent decisions instead of talking with each other. Like the other Venezia went up to the island and just kind of stayed there. That should have been something that you guys were talking about rather than, oh, you're there now, right? Did that come up in your comms where you're in that battle?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The other Venezia on your flank, he went up to the island and just kind of ran up there and died, right?
Yeah, I think I saw it in the court. Yeah, I saw that towards the end.
Yeah, well, that was right in the middle of the battle, actually. And that should be something that you're coordinating with your teammate on to discuss positioning about where you can be most effective. And if you want to take that next step and really work on those effective comms, that's the type of thing that you can prevent, where your team starts acting in a less coordinated fashion, with one Venezia getting into a position where he can't really help, and then the other Venezia getting in a position where he's too far north to help. That's all comm stuff. You can coordinate your position and your intention and your objectives and focus on the highest threats by working the plan the teammates that are around you.
Can I play the same
Yeah,
thing?
sure. Go for it, Juke.
How do you fast forward?
That's
Insert.
insert.
Delete.
Enter.
Insert, I believe.
Can you see it?
It's loading right now.
Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't running range mods.
I'm so happy to see some of the other clans picking Vermonts. It just makes it warms my little heart. It's a tough shit. Wait, is this the same map?
Same map, same game.
Same game, just different perspective. Okay, you're the other Venezia. Fantastic. We get to see the same battle from a different perspective. All right, let's see what you got.
Let me get this to fast forward here.
Sure thing.
So
I think this is the battle where I kind of got over. I
It's the
pushed
same battle as last time, just from the perspective of the second Venezia.
all right, so I don't run long range mods. I
Yeah.
changed after this game, but I'm going to change back. Because
I run reload mod. I don't run range mod in Venezia. It's got
that's right.
spotter plane if you need that, Yeah, I find the range to be enough. If
So-
you get outside of that range, then you're too far away.
We were called go wide.
Mhm.
And we were proceeding that way. So
I I see you proceeding wide, but on a diagonal towards the south. You gotta watch the spotting range. This is most noticeable in like a Stalingrad, a Petro, or a Moskva because they're spotted at a very long range and they don't turn very well. Venezia's got the smoke and it turns really well, so it's not deadly for either of you to get spotted here. But you can control when you get spotted if you don't go quite that far south. This is
Right.
just kind of running into them with your face.
Yeah.
And
right.
yeah. You're not getting punished for it. It's pretty good,
All right, right here. I'm kiting. I mean,
Right.
I know how to kite.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, this is where the Venezia's had a problem. We kind of got jumped.
Good damage. Good aim. Oh, just tearing that St. Vincent up. Watch the angle though a little
Yeah,
bit.
but this is where you
Stalingrad
two
can
are
punish.
bouncing off of each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See how the
I had
other
to slow down. Damn it! Still, how do you?
so with the Ohio danger close like that, there might have been an opportunity to stop the Venezia kite and do this turn in that you're doing now about 20 seconds earlier because your Ohio is like suiciding the enemy team, right? He's half health.
With that
He's gonna
oinking?
go down. Yeah, that's a bad spot for an Ohio. You might have been at least able to trade him for the small end if you were a little closer. So watch that kiting instinct. Sometimes it takes you too far out of the battle. Most often, to effectively kite, all you really need to do is get your bow away from the enemy and then go down to like a quarter speed or start reversing. You can stay in the fight with good angles that way and not have the option to run away whenever you need to, but not actually have to run away until or not actually be running away until you have to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, if that was Oinkies, he usually plays better than that.
I
I mean, truly, he does. That was
know he
really
does.
bad.
Yeah, that looks embarrassing, but everybody gets games like that. That's fine.
Like I was gonna say, in his defense, he normally plays much, much better than that.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what he was trying to do there. Probably help his team, but he ran into a lot more than he could handle.
That's the whole destroyer ran into a torpedo syndrome thing on it.
So going aggressive here, I do like, but opening yourself up to taking all that AP was probably a little excessive, and you're keeping your speed full there too. So
But notice the other Venezia is not shooting at the target. This Venezia is shooting. And vice versa.
yeah, your targeting priorities are all over the place.
They should be doubling down since they're practically in the same space.
This is true. And the biggest thing target prioritization and whatnot, that's always a little tricky because you got angles to consider. the biggest thing that's telling me that there's really no way for Venezia's to concentrate on the same target is because they're facing different directions, going completely different spaces. One's going close to the island, and then the other one's going wide. I think that smoke was a little premature there. You were dark, and there was really nothing that could spot you. So you might need it later and then not have it. If you want to pop out on this Stalingrad, feel free. But now you can't spot him since you got a spotter plane up, but I think he's probably out of spotter range. Big priorities at getting that St. Vincent down, throwing Napoli torps, Venezia torps down that 4-line channel.
Yeah,
Get that gun transition off. Front turret's rotating. A little slow, but not too bad. Okay, so yeah, you got the bow going north now. Focusing in on that St. Vincent. Oh, overturn. You got to kite the big battleships. See, that's pretty good. Guns on the small end I kind of like, but yeah, look at that. That was a nice shot. Solid damage. But, you know, you're the only Venezia shooting at that small end. He can die right now. All you have to do is get your Venezia friend to shoot at him.
But we know he doesn't.
Were you saying in comms, hey, I'm engaging the small and, you know, any other Venezia player, let's get on him. Yeah, that's the type of comms you need.
Yeah, that's something I'm still trying to learn how to do in Venezia. So
yeah, well, luckily you got two of you out there. So one thing that, you know, one of you spots and a priority that, you know, one of you sees, and that means you get both of you on it. You just need to communicate it. And that's true for a lot of ships,
wait,
you know.
Can you rewind that and see exactly how much damage you just put in on that volley? Because we were comparing volleys from earlier when he threw AP from the other Venezia onto the St. Vincent, correct?
It was like 5 or 7K.
Okay, so it did come out being roughly the same.
Well, the aim was a little off. St. Vincent was pretty saturated there. If you shot a little bit lower and went for the rear, then you could have gotten a bit more. But he's, you know, he was taking a pounding. He can't really stand up to Venezia. His armor's just not built for it. Ooh, big Stalingrad Citadel. Watch that angle. Ooh. So your Venezias took a lot less damage whenever you were not at full speed. Whenever you were going from full to full backward to half speed forward, when you're juggling that speed, you're all but invincible out there. But whenever you're going full speed, your Venezias are so fast. Like, you get one up on the beeline there, you know, and you lose effective angles on your targets whenever you just kind of go full speed. Let's go somewhere. That's for when you're doing, like, I got to move cross map. I got to assist somebody, but he's all the way over there. Let's use that Venezia speed. Every other time when you're in the engagement, if you're at the right range and the right angle, then you can just kind of throttle juke. You know, you don't really have to go super fast. Just keep your guns kind of on target, and you go forward, you go backward, you make little wiggles in your rudder, and you'll bounce and you'll dodge, and you know you'll royally piss off everybody, and they can't do anything about it. That's what makes Venezia so good. But if you keep that speed maxed, then they'll find your range, you know, and even if you're well angled, they'll start landing, you know, 5, 6, 7,000 full pen hits on you, and you can't survive that for too long. You know, you're gonna have to back up, go dark. You know, you have to use your smoke. You're gonna be pushed out of that position because you're taking more damage than is sustainable.
Yeah, but see, now he's following the Shimakaze, so.
Yeah, so we get to see this. Oh, that's Phil. Okay. I'm always really reluctant to shoot. Well, okay, so better destroyer players than I am tell me that you shouldn't fire all your torpedoes in a salvo like that. Shoot two, keep a rack in reserve.
How do you rewind?
Left, less than sign, just the button just to right of M.
My mic was off. I was trying to show something.
Yeah, sure, okay.
I mean, I make my own mistakes. True. Oh, that went too far.
You can speed it up with insert, I think.
Insert.
Yeah, insert.
I think that was forward. It don't matter. When the shimmy was coming around, I was looking at the Gary,
Mhm.
and the Vermont needed help with the Garen actually needed help with a small one. But there were, the Vermont's slow load.
You
So
mean the Marceau needed help to kill the enemy Gearing?
the gearing, our
This
gearing.
is about right before that happened is when I was playing the Gearing and I died versus the Smolland. And the
All right,
problem
yeah.
was is the other Venezia was way up north.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was too far north for the other Venezia.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to
Yeah,
show.
that was my mistake. So
And the Vermont secondaries weren't really being all that useful.
I don't know if they ever are. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. It's not really a vote.
So it was really a 1v1 duel, and I lost the gunfight. The other guy was more accurate or something.
I mean, it's got big slugs of damage it can throw out, but since the guns take a while to recharge, it doesn't have the best like damage per second.
Well, I was already damaged, and I think he was there one that was playing back behind the other one earlier. So they had the one that led in, and then the other one that after that one died, he came forward. He really didn't do much other than run from us on the other side of the battlefield.
You're talking about our Venezia play?
No, I'm talking about their small ones. They had two small ones.
Oh yeah,
Our one Venezia killed one of the small ones, but the other
Right.
Venezia, it had gotten pushed off and headed north. That second small one had ran from us on the sea cap because it was outnumbered.
yeah, and he just sort of disengaged and didn't
He
really
was
do
still
anything.
at pretty much full health until he fought me at half health. So, which was a good move on his part.
It was, but Vermont isn't really going to be too scared of a Smolland. He doesn't have enough torp power, and you got really good torp protection, and you turn real fast and accelerate. So he might land a torp or two on you, but that's about it. And if he tries to gunfight you, he doesn't dodge super well. If he gets an island, that can actually be dangerous because you can just spam over an island or sit in smoke or something like that. That can be dangerous, but it takes a long time for it to be dangerous. you had pretty good control of that north cap. If you were able to punish the enemy destroyer a little bit more, then you could have actually recapped it, and you would have been 3-capping the enemy fleet. That would have been awesome, but it wasn't necessarily required for you to win the game. So it wasn't a problem. You guys played a pretty good game there.
And just a whole side note that I've been used to playing battleships, that as for being a cruiser, that's something I've kind of struggled to
It's much different.
learn.
Yeah.
Because the concept of battleship and cruisers are very different.
Yeah.
So that, like, I'm sharing my screen here of a ranked battle I had today.
Well, our focus right now is actually on clan battles, and we're almost out of time here. And I think Nutty Boy has another one to show us. So let's put a pin in that maybe, and we'll come back to that later.
Yeah.
Let's switch over and watch Nutty Boy's screen here, and
let's go do that.
The second portion of our class tonight. We're a little over time, but I know Nutty's been waiting forever. All right, Battle versus Jedi, right?
Yeah.
They got a Kurfürst on the field. You got to watch that. What's their DD lineup? Single Kleber. This is something that we talked about in 33 after clan battles last night. Actually, you're talking about the one destroyer fast French DD meta as something that might be pretty important later in the season. The only weakness in this is that they don't really have like Napoli or Venezia or Puerto Rico, so there's really nothing that can push open water except the Stalingrad. And the Stalingrad is pretty good at doing that, but it's just not the best. So if you can dominate the flanks here, you can start getting citadels off on that team, and that will be devastating. Your team here, you got a Thunderer, Montana, Venezia, Masfa, 3 destroyers. Yeah, you're a lot more mobile. You got a lot more open water potential. Let's see if you can actually get it to work. I like this Venezia path here, and I like that turnout. Because you can see where the engagement's really going to happen. Okay, yeah. Learn your French DD speeds. You didn't lead
That's
him
something
enough.
I've
that
had
cost you
a hard
damage.
time to do because
At the 32 level, the ability to properly lead at 32 and below, the ability to properly lead a French destroyer is some people are going to get the hits and the other people won't, and it's just it's iffy,
I
But
expected him to
as
slow down. Sorry to cut you off.
oh sorry, as get a little more experience, you'll start knowing that you got to get your guns like you shouldn't even be watching a Kleber at all on your screen in order to lead him when you see that black smoke. And you could have taken a bunch more hit points if you got that lead right. But, it's hit or miss. It's fine. Good damage. You're staying safe. Now, you are dark right now, and damage control's off cooldown. I would have deconned that fire because there's probably nothing that's going to spot you here except unless this Kleber comes down.
He thought about
You
it.
could have saved 10,000 health. Yeah, I decon one fire if I know I'm not going to get spotted and relit on fire, for a little while. It seems like the overall hit point trade is positive. I noticed you used a heal instead. It's not the end of the world. You did mitigate that damage, so it's fine. It's just you got you got unlimited damage controls and limited heals. So that's a minor little point. Radio location, good to see. That's a absolute must-have on the Venezia for exactly this reason, because you can see exactly where that Kleber is and what he's doing, even if he's not spotted. So you can see Stalingrad pushing in. Looks like the team here is doing an east side push, but they're getting countered pretty hard. There's a Kurfürst, a Moskva, a Petra out there. There's not going to be an easy way for you guys to get 2 caps here. So you really do have to keep the intensity up here at Alpha. Getting shots on that Stalin, pretty important. I don't know if you have the angles for it right now. And you're about to get focused. I'm worried. Did you get the smoke in time? Yes. Good hit on the Stalingrad from the one of the battleships. This is looking possibly winnable on the west, and you really do need to win it.
And
If the
one
Stalingrad-
comment I will add that the Colbert he got a little greedy
Mhm.
Early on in here, and I was chucking him left and right.
Ooh, unspotted cruiser just popping up. That changes everything.
It does.
It does, yeah. Okay, so I don't know if that was luck or skill, but you are bow out in smoke as that Des Moines radar is pushing you. So that's exactly where the right orientation. It suddenly went from, maybe we could take this cap to get away. Oh, punishment from the Ohio.
I kind of expected him to be like G4 or G8.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to pop up there. I was very worried about it. He's unspotted. Our DTs were on C. They probably should have seen him if he was on that island.
Summers might have overkited this a little bit. There's plenty of island cover up there, and you do have to worry about the radars. Yeah, and you do have to worry about the Kleber. But you've got a lot of gunfire support with Venezia. I mean, Venezia has to land the shots, but theoretically that should keep the club off, and the Summers can stay a little closer in, hopefully landing some more direct torps. Target priority here should switch to Stalingrad pretty fast. You can arc that. He's half health. Come on. Yeah, there's a switch. Caught you in the middle of a gun trade. No, it's not a switch. Dang it.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
target the low health cruiser.
Like,
Especially since he's broadside. Torp on the Des Moines, that's good. Target switch. He's still there.
yeah.
Oh no, not the Torps. And you turned your guns out of line. No, he gets away with that move scot-free. No.
I think maybe I thought I couldn't arc the island. I'm not sure.
You can arc the island. You can totally arc the island. Now, I would be expecting here for you to either turn south and re-engage or, start reversing or something like that. Opening up guns here on the Kleber. Since you've turned broadside, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have shot there either, right? He's just too far out. But I'm nervous. Opening up bow south with your smoke on long cooldown. If that Stalingrad Des Moines pushes you, the Ohio spot's really old too. Hey, I hope this works for you. Okay. You're fine. Target switch, Des Moines. Yeah. Okay, good. Are you full conceal on this? Yeah, it looks like you're full conceal.
I am.
Okay, Stalingrad moved out to the flank. Yeah, this is where you guys have a really strong defensive position. If the Thunderer just hugs that island, maybe backs up a bit, and then you stay on the outside, you'll be presented. Somebody's going to have good broadsides, and it'll lock 2 ships down there. And when they're locked down there behind that island, you might even be able to retake the cap with the Summers.
Yeah, I was right here around the island. I just didn't see
Good volley.
the
Good volley.
the Stalingrad still there. But I was wanting that Colbert more than anything else because
Are you in this game, Astros? Yeah, you're the Thunderer.
yeah,
Okay.
I was a Thunderer.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get the Kleb kill, but
But I really chunked
Shooting
him
there.
quite a bit.
I wouldn't. Are you? No, you're moving forward.
I was trying to slow down and hug that out a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm
little
a
bit.
little nervous. There's an Ohio on your broadside and a Kleber on your broadside. I wouldn't have moved up that far. Oh, I hope this works well for you.
Trust me, it didn't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm nervous about that.
Because I was looking and
I like the Venezia full reverse here. That's what you need to do. Stalingrad does not have guns on you either, I don't think. So yeah, just hammer him.
yeah, they were just melting me away.
Summer's coming south. That looks good. On comms, this is probably where I would be saying, okay, Venezia, I'll take Stalingrad. You take the Kleber. Oh, wait, no. Thunder doesn't have line for Kleber because Thunder is still moving forward. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Thunder is paying for that.
I fucked up.
A little bit too quick of a snapshot there, unless you moved forward, moved the time faster. You could have read the Stalingrad's forward momentum or lack thereof and probably killed him on that salvo because you snapped a quick shot off and it wasn't the most aimed. Now I'm just nitpicking, but
No, it's fine. It's good. I appreciate it.
slow down just a second, get all those guns on, and you'll probably nail those shots because Venezia is a laser pointer. It's got really good Sigma. It's just you have to pinpoint enemy sections of the ship for you to get good damage. Oh no, that was not a good time to smoke.
Yeah. Didn't realize I was one spotting him.
Yeah, I know. The Venezia is a really good teacher for that. It'll teach you if you're spotting a target because suddenly you smoke up and you get really embarrassed. Okay, so east side, they've actually made a lot of progress since we started on the west here. Looks like the curve first is still pretty healthy, but somehow they've all moved far enough back, and they got their Ohio over there too. But you guys have taken Charlie. That's good. In fact, that's necessary. But still, you're not going to hold Charlie. So you need to win here at Alpha. You don't have a choice. I might actually go super aggro in the Venezia right now because the Summers is going to need your help. You can't afford for the Summers to die. Oh, Jesus, take the wheel. That's AP.
That's AP.
Oh, it's AP! Awesome. I am so nervous every time I throw AP in a Venezia because I mean, you can Citadel American stuff, but if you're trying to Citadel something Russian, I never have any luck with it.
I didn't switch to AP with the Stalin earlier.
Yeah. That was well done. Now, Summers in Alpha Cap, I like it, taking it, but he can't stay there. Oh my god. Learn your French DD speeds.
I always expect him to slow down.
Yeah, not enough. Okay, yeah, you're trying to keep it on your screen because you think that that's the most lead that at least for me, it's a psychological factor. I think that it's the most lead you can possibly give something if they're at the edge of the screen. It's just a psychological thing, but it's not. You can aim further over, or you can zoom out.
This is where when they did the thing with the special dynamic reticles, or whatever they're called, horizons.
That was good.
30. You basically, for French DDs, you take whichever the 20 line is, which I believe on the Gnome one is the Nomo one is the bottom one, and you double it. Yep. Double the shadow time, because pretty much French DDs go about 40 knots, give or take.
You got to even give that a little bit more if they get the black smoke, though. That's That's
a
where
little
things
bit.
get tricky.
But yeah, but the thing is if they're not black smoking, it's double the 20. And then if it's black smoking, it's double the 20 plus 2.
That sounds right. Yeah. So actually, it'd be plus 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can either learn that by feel and trial and error, or you can learn that by math. Either of those is fine, but there were 2 key salvos that I saw that were on the Kleb that should have done, 8,000 damage and instead did, 2,000 damage. And I am every bit as guilty of doing that in a Venezia as everyone else, but you should start to learn that. That's probably a good thing for you to learn if you're going to play Venezia, because getting a huge salvo off on that would change the game. And that's exactly why you bring Venezia. It can do that. Fantastic game, though. That was really good. The only thing that I think was unfortunate in the way that you guys played that was just the Thunderer placement. If you were a Kremlin, maybe you could have gotten away with that, but you weren't a Kremlin. And even if you were, I probably wouldn't have done that. That was like, we have to do something right now, emergency play, and keep that card in your back pocket for those situations where you've got to make that play, but don't play that card unless it's truly an emergency, because they'll punish you for it, Okay, let's make this the last replay. Sound good?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Because technically after this, we've got battle caller training. I'm not sure if we'll do too much tonight because it's kind of getting late, and it's the mid-season. It's still pretty early in the season, and we don't have like full battle caller attendance on or anything like that. But we can kind of go around the horn a little bit. From a 33 side, battle callers, we've been seeing a lot of heavy